through desktop.
All right. We'll see if we can get the reverberation. Morning, Ms. Prima Chavez. How are you? Ms. Prima Chavez, can you hear me? Okay. We're having some issues with sound and Zoom, so I'm using you as a guinea pig. So. Who are you here for, Ms. Prima Chavez? Morning.
So we're gonna use that one?
We're unable, so we're just having to go off the computers. And I've got Ms. Prima Chavez on.
Sorry, Judge,
I'm sorry, I thought you meant we're going off the tablets.
I couldn't get my audio to turn on, Judge.
That's what I'm trying to find out. All right, are you there, Ms. Prima Chavez? Can you hear me?
Yes, Judge, can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
I can hear you. Judge, you may just need to turn up your volume on your computer.
You have your volume on now?
All right, are you there now?
Travis, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can't hear her. You can? Judges?
Go ahead and dial.
Yep,
Yep.
it's all full blast.
And you still can't hear it.
Does he want me to just call in? Maybe
on
just call
your-
Eli's cell phone number?
What's your name? Yeah. Kevin Sears, am I right? Yes.
Let me say.
Sears is here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
All right, whose case are you here for, Ms. Prima Chavez?
For Ismael Chavez, I believe it's 23-3048.
That is correct, and I show that's an infraction.
Yes.
Okay,
If I can just maybe have some time to get with Eloy and see if him and I can get this resolved.
okay.
Who's that one, Ron?
300,048, last name Chavez. It's an infraction.
Ismael?
Mm-hmm. How far out do you think, Ms. Chavez?
Eloy, what do you think? Like maybe 30 days?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do a miscellaneous journal entry. We'll move it to,
What about February the 6th? Oh, no, not sorry. That's like too close.
Yeah. I was looking at the 27th, which would be about 30 days, and we're pretty good on that day.
I've got a jury trial that week, Judge. If I could maybe move it out to the next week, March 5th.
Does that work for you?
give me a sec, Ron. March 5th, it will be March 5th. March 5th at 9?
Yes.
That works for the court.
You waive your signature on a miscellaneous?
Yes. Can I be excused, Judge?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Eli.
But I'm gonna have to take off the train. Give me one sec. Ismail.
Mr. Gallegos, that came with nothing for me to sign,
Which one?
or unless I missed, I need to see it. Are you amending a complaint?
I'm going to have to right now.
Or do you want to go a future date? I just need to know
Well.
and
if there's a
reissue,
Future day, I'm gonna have to reissue everything.
correct?
Just if you could give me one second, Ron.
And just so you'll know, this case does not appear on my docket.
Which one?
Oh, sorry, it does now. It didn't yesterday evening.
Alexis, are you here? Give me a second, Ron.
Okay. Well, we'll deal with here first since she has an appearance. Ma'am, would you step up here, please? We get your case, Senator. Go ahead and have a seat. Ma'am, when we get started, if you might have to wait out in the lobby, so because we're recording. Thank you.
Correct, it was already filed, correct, Norman?
No,
It hasn't been corrected, it hasn't been. filed?
well, it's filed with them. It's not been signed off on. I was typing a rejection letter
Okay,
for you because I just got it this morning.
so I can just, do it. in the- So,
While you're working on that, I'm going to go over rights to know criminal defendants.
That's fine. And then-
Good morning. This is Kearny County District Court on January 30th, 2022. Judge Walters presiding. This is a Tuesday first appearance criminal and traffic docket. Each of you that is here for a first appearance have certain rights that I will go over with you. And if anyone needs an interpreter, Ms. Chavez is available in the front row. I will read these rights, allowing time for them to be interpreted into Spanish. And when each of you, it's your turn to approach, I will ask you if you understood them. All right. This statement is intended to inform you of your rights as a defendant. This is not an exhaustive list of every right you possess, and it is not intended to be. You have the right to a formal reading of each of the charges against you, as well as a reading of the potential consequences in the event of conviction. You have the right to a speedy and public trial. You are innocent until the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove your innocence. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at every stage of the proceeding. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court may appoint one for you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you may reassert it at any time. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses of the state. You may also present witnesses of your own and compel their attendance if necessary. You have the right to remain silent with the power to decline or refuse to make any verbal or written statement to the prosecution. You have the right to testify, but only if you choose to do so. And again, I will ask each individual if he or she understood each and every right. I'm next going to read special considerations for non-citizens. This may or may not apply to your situation. I am reading it as a blanket statement for everybody. Conviction of a crime can adversely affect the immigration status of any individual who is not an American citizen. This applies to all convictions, including most traffic offenses. Receiving a diversion can constitute a conviction for immigration purposes. Adverse effects to your immigration status may be significant. These include the potential revocation of your immigration status and or the ordering of your deportation. Because of the potentially severe consequences resulting from a conviction, you are entitled to an opportunity to discuss the potential impacts of a conviction with an immigration attorney. Wishing to discuss the potential consequences of a conviction with an immigration attorney does not constitute an exercise of your right to counsel. You are not entitled to the appointment of an attorney solely to address potential immigration issues. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. All right, this is Kearny County District Court Case 2024 TR 22, State of Kansas versus Alexis, is that Bame? Ms. Bame, you are here in person and you are charged with a 2-count complaint.
Yes, Your Honor. It's getting served right now by the sheriff to Mrs. Alexis Bain for DUI and endangering a child.
Very well.
I will, just for the sake of right now, I will advise the court and the defendant that will be amending to add criminal suspended as soon as I get proper paperwork for that part.
Very well.
Um,
Ms. Bame, what Mr. Gallegos is telling the court is that they're doing an amended complaint so that we can get your first appearance and get you on the road to your next appearance, wherever that may be.
I believe this would be a second. She has a prior DUI, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Bame, you are charged with a 2-count complaint currently. The first count is driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Second conviction, that is in violation of Kansas Statute 8-1567. That is a Class A non-person misdemeanor. A Class A non-person misdemeanor typically has a maximum fine of $2,500 and a maximum jail sentence of up to 1 year in the Kearny County Jail. A driving under the influence conviction, second, does have special circumstances. One of those includes a minimum fine of $1,250 and a possible minimum jail sentence. Do you understand that? The second charge you currently have is endangering a child in violation of Kansas Statute 21-5601A. That is a Class A person misdemeanor. That is also punishable by a fine of up to $2,500 and a jail sentence of up to 1 year in the Kearny County Jail. When I say up to, those are the maximum allowable under that statute. Those are not always indicative of what the court sentences upon a conviction. Do you understand? I got a little bit ahead of myself here. I read the statement of rights to the group. Did you hear and understand every one of your rights? Are there any of those that you want me to go over with you individually? Very well, thank you. As far as this hearing today, you have some options regarding representation. Your first option is you can tell the court you want to hire your own attorney. We will then give you a future date to allow you to get that accomplished. The second option is you can tell the court you're requesting court-appointed counsel. If that's the option you choose, you need to fill out an application for court-appointed counsel and a financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial requirements to qualify for court-appointed counsel. In addition, if you are appointed counsel and you are convicted of a crime resulting in this, a crime or infraction resulting in this case, you may be required to reimburse all or some of your attorney's fees. Do you understand? Your third option is to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing. What that does is that allows the county attorney, Mr. Gallegos, to speak with you directly about your case to see if you can come to some resolution. If you choose this option, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney. Do you understand? How do you wish to proceed today? You always can change your mind and request attorney if you waive your right to an attorney today. Are you telling the court you'd like to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing? Ms. Boehm, are you under the influence of any medication or stressors or anything that would make you unable to make good decisions today? Is anyone threatening you or promising you anything in return for waiving your right to an attorney? And you do understand if you waive your right to an attorney today, you can change your mind at any time. Very well, the court will find you have knowingly and voluntarily waived your rights to an attorney. Mr. Gallegos, would you like to speak with Ms. Boehm or would you like to set for a future date? Or, okay. You'll go off the record briefly. When the county attorney is done speaking with Ms. Boehm, I'll just start with the top of my docket. And so after this, the next case I will call is 23 TR 300,037, which is Jordan Natarino. I believe that's you. So you'll go next. You want to let him know that. And then we'll just go down the list as they were filed. In order to use our time a little better, if there's any person that thinks that they may want to request court-appointed counsel, if you'll let me know, I will give you the application to fill out before you come up, and that will save us some time. Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes,
she's gonna be, or I'll let her tell us.
let me get back on the record, please. We are back on the record in Kearny County District Court Case 2024 TR 22. And I believe, Ms. Boehm, did you have something to inform the court? You're going to hire an attorney? All right, how long do you think you need, you and Mr. Gagos? You think 30 days is sufficient?
Yeah, we can move to the 27th, right?
At 9? Or do you want to go 9:30?
9 a.m. is fine,
9 a.m.
or 9:30, whichever.
We'll go 9 a.m. All right, Ms. Boehm, what I'm going to do is set this for a future date, February 27, 2024 at 9 a.m. So you will need to let the attorney that you hire, let him know that, him or her know of that date. If that attorney has a conflict, they know how to get in touch with the court to request a continuance. If you have not heard this case is continued, you need to appear on that date and time. Do you understand? And it's your responsibility to know whether or not these cases are still going on the date schedule or they've been continued. It's also your responsibility to give your attorney or your future attorney good contact information where they can reach you. Do you understand? Do you have any question regarding anything we've done today? Mr. Gagos, do you have anything further from the state? Very well. We are adjourned as to this matter until February 27th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Thank you for your appearance. You just leave that there. Mr. Gagos will grab it. And we are off the record. So, Mr. Net.
Thanks for the record, Your Honor. She was served here in court.
Okay,
My approach,
you may. Mr. Natarino, would you come forward? All right, you are Jordan Natarino. Very well. This is Kearny County District Court case 2023 TR 37. State of Kansas versus Jordan Natarino. Mr. Natarino, were you present when I read each individual their rights? And would you answer? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you understand each of your rights as I read them?
Yes.
Are there any we need to go over, or are you comfortable that you know your rights?
Yes, you're gonna need to go.
Thank you. Sir, you're here on a 2-count complaint filed by the Kearny County Sheriff's Office. Count 1 is no driver's license. This is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. In violation of Kansas statute 8-235. Your second charge is driving without headlights when needed. That is in violation of Kansas statute 8-1703. That is an infraction. A person convicted of a Class B non-misdemeanor can receive a fine of up to $500. I'm sorry, $1,000. And a jail sentence of not more than 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. A person convicted of infraction can be ordered to pay a fine and court costs. Regarding the misdemeanor, I said not more than. That means that's the maximum you could be assessed. That does not necessarily mean you would be ordered that fine and jail sentence if convicted. Do you understand the charges and potential consequences? Thank you. You have options today regarding representation. You may hire an attorney of your choosing. And if you choose this option, I will set this for a future date to allow you to make those arrangements. You may request court-appointed counsel. If you choose court-appointed, you must fill out an application and financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial guidelines to qualify for court-appointed counsel. If you qualify for court-appointed counsel and are convicted of any crime, you may have to reimburse the state for part or all of your attorney's fees. Your third option is to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing. If you waive your right to an attorney, prosecutor, Mr. Gallegos, is free to discuss your case with you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney at a future time. Do you understand your rights to counsel or representation?
Yes.
How do you wish to proceed today? Very well. Are you under the influence of any medication or stressors that would make you unable to make good decisions?
No,
Is anyone threatening you or promising you lenience to waive your right to an attorney?
no,
Very well. Court finds you have knowingly and voluntarily waived your right to an attorney. And if you change your mind, let the court know. Thank you. Mr. Gallegos, do you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll go off the record. All right, we are back on the record in 23 TR 300,037. Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything for the court?
Yes, Your Honor. The state or the defendant have an agreement which the defendant will be pleading guilty to no valid driver's license in violation of KSA -8 or 8-235. There will be a 60-day underlying jail sentence. No law violations for 120 days. And 120 days to pay a fine of $300. And a fine of 108 or a court cost of 108. The state will dismiss count 2, which is driving without headlights. And he will also have 120 days to pay that, and 60 days will be suspended for him.
Thank you. Mr. Natarino, Mr. Gallegos says you reached agreement. Is that correct? Right. Is anyone forcing you to enter into this agreement?
no,
And is anybody promising you anything in return other than the dismissal of an infraction for this plea?
no,
Very well. Do you wish to proceed with the agreement?
yes,
As to count 1 of the complaint, no driver's license in violation of Kansas statute 8-235. How do you wish to plead? Sorry, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. On about November 28th, were you pulled over by a Kearny County Sheriff's deputy?
Yeah.
Were you driving a 2004 Jeep SUV?
Yes.
Did you have a valid driver's license at that time?
No.
And did this occur in Lake, Kansas?
Yes. Yeah.
Very well. The court finds factual basis to support the charge of no driver's license.
This,
Sorry.
the state will dismiss count 2, Your Honor.
Very well. Thank you. Are you ready to proceed with sentencing? If I didn't tell you, the court accepts your guilty plea, finds you guilty. And do you have anything to offer the court before sentencing? You want to say anything on your behalf?
No.
Very well. Excuse me. The court will follow your agreement, fine you $300 for no driver's license, or you to pay $108 court costs. You'll be ordered to spend 60 days in the Kearny County Jail, suspended. Suspended means you do not have to serve the time if you complete the remainder of the agreement. The remainder of the agreement is you have no new law violations for 120 days. And you pay all fines and court costs within 120 days. You understand this sentence? Very well. Based on this conviction, you have a right to seek an appeal if you choose. If you wish to appeal, you must file a written request for appeal within 14 days. If you do not file your written appeal within 14 days, you've waived your right to appeal. And finally, you have a right to seek an expungement from your record at a future time. Expungement is a civil proceeding that can remove your conviction from your record as if it never occurred.
Once again, civil, Your Honor.
Okay. And when I said a civil proceeding, it removes your record, removes from your record for civil proceedings in the future. If you wish to seek an expungement, you need to wait a period of time. That varies depending on the charge being expunged. Information on expungements can be found at the Kansas Judicial Council website. Do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything further for the court?
There was already one question I had, Your Honor. I believe he was arrested. I didn't know how many days he was in jail for. I have that he was arrested at 7:37 hours, so that'd be in the morning. So I just need to ask whether he was released that same day.
Okay,
¿Saliste el mismo día? No te quedaste la noche, ¿verdad? ¿Apagaste una fianza para salir o saliste sin pagar? Okay. I'm gonna put 1 day credit, Your Honor.
very well. Is there any bond posted in this matter?
It says that he did not post a bond.
Very
But
well,
I'm gonna put, if there is, that it'd be released.
very well. Any questions, sir? Anything further, Mr. Gallegos?
No, Your Honor.
Then we are adjourned as to this matter. Thank you for your appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Approach, Your Honor.
You may. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. The next case on the docket is State of Kansas versus Antonio Delgado Ramirez. Yeah. Sir, do you need an interpreter? If you do, Ms. Chavez is available, so you just let the court know, okay?
Yes, sir.
Have a seat. We are on the record in Kearny County District Court Case 2024 CR7, State of Kansas versus Antonio Delgado Ramirez. You are Mr. Delgado Ramirez, correct? You appear personally. You are here today. Well, first off, let me ask, you were present when I read the group and each individual their rights, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Are there any of them that we need to go over with you, or are you comfortable that you understand them well? All right. You are here today on a 1-count complaint of domestic battery. That is in violation of Kansas statute 21-5414 C1A. That is a Class B person misdemeanor. A Class B misdemeanor in the state of Kansas is punishable by a fine of not more than $1,000 and a jail sentence of not more than 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. Those are the maximums that could be sentenced, not necessarily what would be sentenced if you were convicted. That's dependent on your prior criminal history. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
Because of this charge, you have the right to an attorney. You have 3 choices, really. You can hire an attorney of your choosing. I will set this for a future date to allow you to do that if that's what you want to do. Your second option is to request court-appointed counsel. If you choose that option, you will need to fill out an application and financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial requirements to qualify for court-appointed counsel. If you receive court-appointed counsel and are later convicted of anything arising out of this case, you may be required to repay some or all of your attorney's fees. Do you understand?
Yes.
And your third option is you have the right to waive your right to an attorney for today. If you waive your right to an attorney, then Mr. Gallegos is free to discuss your case with you directly. If you waive your right to an attorney and you decide later you want an attorney, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to proceed today, sir? Okay, are you wanting to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing? Is anyone threatening you or making you waive your right? Are you under the influence of any prescription medication or other chemicals or stressors that would make you unable to make good decisions? Very well. Court find that you have knowingly waived your right to an attorney. If you change your mind, let the court know and we will approach this differently, okay?
Yes.
Mr. Gallegos, I have a knowing and voluntary waiver. Do you wish to discuss
Yes, Your Honor.
the case of this individual? We are off the record.
Your Honor, what do we know the court date?
How far out, sir?
Let's go beginning of March.
You want to use the March 5th date?
Yeah, I think that would work. He's gonna be applying for diversion.
9 o'clock work?
Let's do 9:30, just so we know which ones are the first appearances, which ones are others.
Very well, sir. Let me go back on the record. All right, sir, you've had a chance to speak with the county attorney and he is requesting a future date while you attempt to resolve this case. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, so the court will continue this case to March 5th, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. That means that you need to appear on that date and time unless you have reached an agreement with the county attorney. If you are unsure about whether or not you need to appear, you need to show up. You don't want to get a failure to appear. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's your responsibility to know whether or not you need to appear. So do you need to write that date down or March 5, 2024, 9:30 a.m.?
9:30 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right here. Any questions about that, sir?
No, sir.
Mr. Gallegos, you have anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. If nothing further, we are adjourned. Thank you for your appearances.
Much good, correct, Ryan?
Yes,
At 9:30?
9:30.
Not good, Ryan?
May. Thank you. Maria Rodriguez. Morning. Tell me when you're ready, Mr. Gallegos.
I am ready.
We are on the record in Kearny County District Court case 2024 TR1. State of Kansas versus Maria Rodriguez. Ms. Rodriguez appears in person and with court interpreter Teresa Chavez. Ms. Rodriguez, you were present when I read the rights to and of criminal defendants. Is that correct? Did you understand your rights? Are there any that we need to go over or clarify?
No.
Thank you. You're here today on a 2-count complaint filed by the Kansas Highway Patrol. Count 1 is speeding, 85 in a 65-mile-per-hour zone, in violation of Kansas Statute 8-1558. That is an infraction punishable by a fine and court costs if convicted. Your second count is no driver's license, in violation of Kansas Statute 8-235. A Class B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, that's punishable by a fine of not more than $1,000. And a jail sentence of not more than 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. Do you understand the charges and potential consequences?
Yes.
Thank you. You have options today regarding representation. You may hire an attorney of your choosing. If you want this option, the court will set this for a future date to allow you to make arrangements. You may request court-appointed counsel. If you choose this option, you must fill out an application and financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial requirements to qualify for court-appointed counsel. If you receive court-appointed counsel and are later convicted of any charge, you may be required to reimburse some or part of the attorney fees. Your third option is to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing. You waive your right to an attorney. Mr. Gallegos is free to discuss your case directly with you. This allows you to possibly come to an agreement on your own. If you choose this option, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney at a future date. Do you understand your rights for representation?
Yes.
Thank you. How do you wish to proceed today?
General attorney.
All right, is anyone forcing you to waive your right to an attorney? Is anyone promising you anything to waive your right to an attorney?
No.
Very well. Court finds you've knowingly and voluntarily waived your right to an attorney. And if you change your mind, let the court know and we will address this again. Mr. Gallegos, do you wish to inquire?
Yes, I just have one question. There's Maria, Guadalupe, Maria,
María de Jesús Rodríguez Lora. En mi acta de nacimiento tengo MA.
I will go off the record if you want to speak with her, Mr. Gallegos.
Nombre completo.
como usted firma su nombre. No,
Casi lo más puro María Rodríguez.
y el tribunal está en 8 también. Bastante centro de entidad para pagar 500
No, pues soy la que tratando de sacar la licencia y a veces me da mucha
puedes estar en su casa, pues. ¿Estás de acuerdo? Sí. Yeah. We have an agreement.
We are back on the record in 24 TR1. Go ahead, Mr. Gallegos.
The defendant will be pleading guilty to both counts 1 and 2. On count 2 for the no driver's license, there will be a 6-day jail underlying sentence, suspended. In total, there's going to be a court costs of 108. Fine for the speeding, I believe, is $105. Since I just put one. And fine for the no driver's license 300, so it's a total of 515, I believe. No, 12.
Try 13.
515. I'm trying to do it in my head. 513. 120 days no law violations and 120 days to pay the $513.
Ms. Rodriguez, the county attorney says you reached an agreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is this agreement a good benefit for you? Do you wish to proceed with the agreement? Very well. In relation to count 2, no driver's license, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Yeah.
As to count 1, speeding 85 and a 65, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. On or about December 30th, 2023, were you pulled over by a Kansas Highway Patrol trooper? Were you operating a motor vehicle west of Lake in Kansas on Highway 50? Prior to the stop, were you traveling 85 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone?
Yeah.
And at the time of the stop, did you have a valid driver's license?
Yeah.
Very well. The court takes judicial notice that milepost 37 is in Kearny County, Kansas.
What number?
37. And finds you guilty of both counts. Are we ready to proceed to sentencing?
Yes.
Do you wish to tell the court anything regarding this or in mitigation?
No, she's trying to get her driver license.
Okay, thank you. The court will follow the recommendation and order a $105 fine for speeding, a $300 fine for no driver's license, $108 court costs. Court orders you 60 days in jail suspended. Suspended means you don't have to serve the time if you complete the remainder of the agreement. The remainder of the agreement is no new law violations for 120 days. Pay all fines and court costs within 120 days. Do you understand each of these items as I've read them or explained them?
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding anything?
No.
Very well. Ms. Rodriguez, you have the right to appeal these decisions. If you choose to file an appeal, it must be in writing and within 14 days. If you do not file your written appeal within 14 days, you've waived your right to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
And finally, you have a right to seek an expungement at a future date. An expungement is a court order that removes this conviction civilly from your record. Requirements for expungements vary depending on the charge being expunged. Information on expungements can be found at the Kansas Judicial Council website. Do you understand each of these items as I've explained them?
Yeah,
Do you have any questions?
no,
Thank you. Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything further?
One last question for, was she arrested? ¿Te arrestaron?
mm,
Y que no pagaste una multa ni nada con el caso. Okay. And she doesn't have any credit, Your Honor.
Very well. If nothing further, we are adjourned as of this matter. Thank you for your appearance.
Yeah, después de hoy, vamos por empezar para.
ok. Entonces,
Que tenga un día. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, thank you.
It's just so much easier to just get it done. That's-
Very well. All right. Court will call Taylor Dexter. Good morning. We are on the record in Kearny County District Court Case 2024 TR 2, State of Kansas versus Taylor Lorraine Dexter. This is January 30th, 2024, Judge Walters presiding. This is a first appearance on a one-count complaint. First off, Ms. Dexter, you were present when I read the rights to each individual, correct? Did you understand your rights as I read them? Okay, and would you make sure you kind of speak towards the microphone there? Thank you. Do I need to go over any of your rights with you, or do you understand them fully? Thank you. You are here on a one-count complaint by the Kansas Highway Patrol alleging a charge of driving while license is suspended, revoked, or canceled in violation of Kansas Statute 8-262. This is showing as a Class C misdemeanor. Is that correct, Mr. Gallegos, or is it a B?
It should be.
It's showing C here. This is going to be a Class B non-person misdemeanor. If a person convicted of a Class B misdemeanor could possibly face a maximum fine of $1,000 and a maximum jail sentence of up to 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. Those are maximums. They aren't always what's imposed. That's more likely to be based on a criminal history or a traffic history. Do you understand the charge and potential penalties? Regarding your appearance today, and you've probably heard this before, you have options to counsel. You can hire an attorney of your choosing. If that's what you want to do, the court will give you time to do that. You may request court-appointed counsel. If that's what you want to do, you need to fill out an application and financial affidavit. You must meet certain requirements to qualify for financial or for a court-appointed attorney. If you do qualify and you are ultimately convicted of any crime, you may have to pay some or all of the attorney's fees. Finally, you have the right to waive your attorney for today's hearing. If you waive your right to an attorney, Mr. Gallegos is then free to discuss your case with you to try to come to some mutual resolution. If you waive your right to an attorney, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney for a future hearing. Do you understand that? How do you wish to proceed today, Ms. Dexter? Okay, are you waiving your right to an attorney? Is anyone forcing you to waive your right to an attorney? Are you under the influence of any stressors or prescription medication that make you unable to make good decisions today? Thank you. Court find you knowingly and voluntarily waived your right to an attorney. And the court will go off the record briefly.
Your Honor,
We are back on the record in 24 TR2. Yes, Mr. Gallegos.
we are going to read court vote. Let's just shoot for that 27th date. For 9:30.
Very well. Ms. Dextry, sorry. Okay. The court was going to continue this to February the 27th at 9:30 a.m. Unless this case resolves, you need to be here at that date and time, okay? It's your responsibility to know whether or not the case is over. If you have any doubts, go ahead and show up so you don't get a failure to appear. Do you understand? Any questions of the court? Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything further on this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. If nothing further, we are adjourned. Thank you for your appearance.
And return.
You may. Thank
Doing
you.
a pain dispense.
All right.
She has a dog license now. So we show up to 27. Because I'm not really having 50 people on my. Thank you. And you have a number and it's downstairs. Our address is downstairs. If you need our address too. Yeah. And, can you explain? Transfer.
Mr. Searsima. Good morning, sir. Again. Let me get back to my.
You don't have long hair, no?
All right, we are on the record in Kearny County District Court on January 30th, 2024. Judge Walters presiding. This is Kearny County District Court case 2024 TR5, State of Kansas versus Kevin Searsima. Mr. Searsima is here in person. Mr. Searsima, you were present when I read the rights to and of criminal and traffic defendants. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand each of those rights as I read them?
Yes,
Do you have any question regarding any of them?
no,
Very well. You are here on a one-count complaint by the Kearny County Sheriff's Office alleging a violation of Kansas Statute 8-142, operating a motor vehicle without a current registration. That is an unclassified misdemeanor, punishable upon conviction by a fine of not more than $500 and a jail sentence of not more than 30 days in the Kearny County Jail. As I've said repeatedly, those are maximums, not always what could be sentenced. It's just the highest possible. You understand the charge and the potential penalties?
yes,
Very well. You have options regarding counsel. If you want to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter, the court will give you time to do so and set this for a future date. If you wish to request court-appointed counsel, you need to fill out an application for court-appointed counsel and a financial affidavit. You may be required, you must meet certain financial guidelines to qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And if you are convicted of anything arising out of this, you could be required to pay back some or all of your attorney's fees. Finally, you have the right to waive your right to an attorney today. That allows Mr. Gallegos to discuss this case directly with you to try to reach some resolution. If you do waive your right to an attorney, you always have the right to change your mind and request an attorney at a future date. Do you understand?
yes,
How do you wish to proceed today, sir?
waive my rights.
Is anyone forcing you to do so?
No,
Is anyone promising you anything to get you to do so?
No.
And one other question that applies to the remainder of the day. Are you under the influence of any prescription medication, any stressors, anything else that would render you unable to make good decisions?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. The court finds that you have knowingly and voluntarily waived your rights. Mr. Gallegos, do you wish to inquire? We'll go off the record to allow you to speak. You may. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that I have all the information with my truck and stuff and that phone, so like I said, they were down one. It was flat all over, like on the 18th, I think on a Monday, so they were down, come back in the thing. So it came back in and still, it was down. It took the what? On this, 18th of December, they put it in the system, they can't do that, so okay. Back on the, I think it turns them down. And I had my fellow works with like years ago. I got 68 days finally. So like, then the 24 say, roll over, that's happened for 60 days. I even reduce about 24 million. Yeah. That is. I would just find that like was it legally my I was this. So that'd be 16. All right. And next is. What's that? I don't.
Give me 1 second while I enter the next case. All right, we are back on the record in Kearny County District Court case 2024 TR5.
The state's gonna be dismissing the case without prejudice.
Very well. Mr. Searsma, the state has dismissed this case without prejudice, so you are free to go with no future court dates.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Unless we following some.
Yes.
As of now, no future court dates. All right. Any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for your appearance. Antonio Sheridan, you may. Mr. Sheridan, were you here when I read People Their Rights? Okay, so you got here later? All right, then I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and step back. I'm gonna go with Mr. Barraza. He was here when we read him, so that'll speed that up, and then I'll have more time to spend with you, sir. Mr. Barraza, would you come forward?
Alex.
Are you the one? Good voice, right? Yeah. Is good boy on Zoom?
I don't see him. The Kearny County District Court case 2024 TR9 on January 30th, 2024. State of Kansas versus Alexis Barraza. Mr. Baraza, you're here in person. This is a new charge, isn't it?
This is a new case.
Yeah, this is.
So we are here for first appearance then. Mr. Baraza, you were here on a two-count complaint alleging, a two-count complaint by the Kearny County Sheriff's Office alleging violation of restriction on driver's license or permit in violation of KSA 8-291. That is a Class B non-person misdemeanor, punishable by a fine of not more than $1,000 and a jail sentence of not more than 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. Also, a speeding violation of 84 to 65, which is an infraction. A person convicted of an infraction in Kansas can receive a fine and court costs. You were present earlier when I went over the rights of traffic and criminal defendants. Is that correct? Did you understand your rights as I read them?
Yes.
Are there any that you need me to go over with you? All right. Having gone over, do you understand the penalties, potential penalties and the charges against you? All right, sir, you have options today regarding counsel. The first is you have the right to hire an attorney. If you choose to hire an attorney, one would be, I will give you a future date so you can get that done. Second, you may request court-appointed counsel. If you choose this option, you must fill out an application and a financial affidavit. If you qualify for court-appointed counsel and meet the financial requirements, you may be required to pay back some or all of your attorney's fees upon a conviction for anything regarding this case. Do you understand? Finally, you have the right to waive your right to an attorney today. If you waive your right, Mr. Gallegos can discuss this case directly with you, and that gives you the opportunity to maybe come to some resolution on your own. If you do waive your right to an attorney, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney, okay? All right, how do you wish to proceed today, Mr. Baraza?
I'd like to attorney.
All right, do you wish to hire one or request court-appointed counsel?
I request.
Okay, then you need to fill out an application for a court-appointed counsel and a financial affidavit that can be found. Yeah,
Step back there and pull this out.
there you go. Mr. Gallegos, would you give this to him? And we will go off the record in this case while paperwork is being. All right, now, Mr. Sheridan, we'll get to your case. Thank you. Mr. Sheridan, I'm going to go over your rights to and of a criminal or traffic defendant, okay? Are you able to hear and understand me well? All right. You have the right to a formal reading of each of the charges against you, as well as a reading of the potential consequences in the event of conviction. You have the right to a speedy and public trial. You are innocent until the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove your innocence. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at every stage of the proceeding. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court may appoint one for you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you may reassert it at any time. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses of the state. You may also present witnesses of your own and compel their attendance if necessary. You have the right to remain silent with the power to decline or refuse to make any verbal or written statement to the prosecution. You have the right to testify, but only if you choose to do so. You understand your rights as I've read them, sir? Are there any that you need me to go over with you that you don't understand? I'm going to read a section called Special Considerations for Non-Citizens. I don't know if this applies to you. I just read it as a blanket statement to everyone. Conviction of a crime can adversely affect the immigration status of any individual who is not an American citizen. This applies to all convictions, including most traffic offenses. Receiving a diversion can constitute a conviction for immigration purposes. Adverse effects to your immigration status may be significant. These include the potential revocation of your immigration status and/or the ordering of your deportation. Because of the potentially severe consequences resulting from a conviction, you are entitled to an opportunity to discuss the potential impacts of a conviction with an immigration attorney. Wishing to discuss the potential consequences of a conviction with an immigration attorney does not constitute an exercise of your right to counsel. You are not entitled to the appointment of an attorney solely to address potential immigration issues. Did you understand each of those as I read, sir? Thank you. Mr. Sheridan, you are here on a one-count complaint by the Kearny County Sheriff's Office alleging violation of KSA 8-235, which is no valid driver's license, or specifically an expired driver's license. That is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. A person convicted of a Class B misdemeanor in Kansas could receive a fine of up to $1,000 and a jail sentence of not more than 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. I say up to and not more than. Those are the maximum penalties that could be assessed. They are not necessarily indicative of what is normally assessed. Do you understand? Regarding this offense, you have options today regarding counsel. You may hire an attorney of your choosing. If you tell the court that's what you want to do, I will set this for a future date to allow you to do so. You may request court-appointed counsel. If you choose that option, then you will need to fill out an application and financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial guidelines to qualify for court-appointed counsel. If you are convicted of anything related to this and you have court-appointed counsel, you could be required to pay some or all of the attorney's fees. Finally, you have the right to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing. Waiving your right gives Mr. Gallegos the ability to talk directly to you about your case to see if you two can come to some resolution. If you waive your right to an attorney today, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney for a future date. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
How do you wish to proceed today regarding counsel?
I like wait.
Okay, is anyone threatening you to do so? Is anyone promising you anything in return, any leniency for waiving your right?
No.
And one more question, are you under the influence of any stressors, prescription drugs, anything that would make you unable to make good decisions today?
Yes.
Very well. The court finds you have knowingly and voluntarily waived your right to a counsel. Mr. Gallegos, you may inquire. Mr. Sheridan, I will remind you, if you change your mind and want an attorney at a future date, you always have that right, okay? Thank you, sir.
I haven't, but when
Your Honor,
We are back on the record in 24 TR6. Yes, Mr. Gallegos?
the defendant needs a little time in order to resolve or get some stuff resolved with his license.
Okay.
We are shooting for, March 5th. Let's just put it at 10 a.m. if that's right with you, Your Honor.
That works for me. Mr. Sheridan, does that work for you? Very well. This case will be set for second appearance, March 5th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Mr. Sheridan, if you have this case resolved by then, you may not need to appear. However, it's your responsibility to know it's resolved. If it's still on the court's docket and you don't show up, that's a failure to appear, okay? So keep in touch with the county attorney's office regarding your resolution. Whatever you guys do is between you. And if this isn't resolved, I will see you on that date, sir. Do you need to write that down or do you?
No.
All right. Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions of the court, Mr. Sheridan?
Yes.
Very well. We are adjourned until March 5th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Thank you for your appearance. Ma'am, what is your name? Sorry. Veronica, okay. And what is your name, sir? Okay. We'll deal with you first and then we'll get with your case. Do you need an interpreter, Veronica? Okay. Come up for Mr. Bale. Let me get caught up on my computer here.
Before we do that, Your Honor, is there a Veronica Pereira child raising report? She's been here since 9, she has a 9-5.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I swap places with you? And this is Mr. Bea. Is that one that we're? All right. Are you ready to get started, Mr. Gallegos? You need a minute?
Yes, Your Honor. Do you need an interpreter?
We are on the record on January 30th, 2024 in Kearny County District Court. As a housekeeping matter, Mr. Gallegos, I show two cases, 23 TR 300,026 and 43. I believe it's a duplicate filing, so we'll need to condense it down to one case.
What's the case number, you know?
26 and 43. And I've looked at the citations and it's the identical citation, so it's just double filed.
Which
So
one do you want to?
let's run with 26. We were just fixing an error in the court's record, so. Ma'am, are you able to hear and understand me okay? Okay, according to my notes, this is your third time here, is that correct? About?
This is my second time.
Second time, okay, I will look that. I'm told by my notes, or my notes show me that you had previously waived your rights to an attorney. And where are we at on this case, Mr. Gallegos?
Give me 1 second, read my notes. If we can go off the record with you, Your Honor.
Off the record.
She's already waived her right to an attorney. So.
Right, I'm off.
Okay. The royal talking about just about that jump, but I'm going to that
Give me 1 second to catch back up here. All right, we are back on the record in 2023 TR 26. Mr. Gallegos, what are we doing today?
Another court date, Your Honor.
All right, how far out?
March 5th, let's put it also at 10 a.m. It should be something like this resolved.
All right. Mr. Perez, I'm going to set this for a case management conference on March 5th, 2024 at 10 a.m. If this case is resolved, you may not need to be here. If it's not resolved or you are unsure it's resolved, you need to be here to make sure that you don't have a failure to appear, okay? And it's your responsibility to know whether or not you've gotten this case taken care of, all right? Any questions about anything today?
No.
Do you need to write that date down? March 5, 2024, 10 a.m. Thank you. If nothing further, we are adjourned. Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for your appearance.
Making sure we're putting this for the 26th, right? 23 TR
26.
6. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
See, I'll be. Okay, let's just have the.
Thank you.
Finish on number 11.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Bay, and we'll handle you, and then I'll get to your application. Okay, Mr. Barraza?
There's everyone business on page 15. Mañana se para el hoy, mañana.
Mr. Muhammad, would you want to come forward now? And I apologize for calling you Mr. Bay. We have another defendant whose last name is Bay, and I'm getting the two mixed up. So let me know when you're ready, Mr. Gallegos. Very well. We are on the record, Kearny County District Court on January 30th, 2024. We are currently on case 2023 TR 390, State of Kansas versus Bay Muhammad. Mr. Muhammad is here in person, and I believe this is a follow-up case management conference, so I've already gone over your rights and so forth with you. Mr. Gallegos, what are we doing today?
We need to speak with him, Your Honor. For some odd reason, he's saying that he's not receiving our information, so I just gotta clarify that, and if that's gonna be a problem, then.
Okay, we'll go off the record and you can inquire.
Where you want to go? Yes, so you can get it in after. This is the only time I'm not gonna give them extensions. Send the stuff in. Show you the file. Looking at. March 19th. If you get it to us.
You did not need an interpreter, correct? Yes. Okay. Ms. Chavez, let me get with Mr. Gallegos and then we'll see if, because I think we're going to be done for the morning.
March 19th. The move is keep the March 19th at 9:30 on.
Let me double check that before you leave, sir.
Wait.
March 19th should work at 9 o'clock.
Yes, Your Honor. We'll just do 9:30.
March 19th at 9:30.
Got that? March 19th.
Okay, sir. You probably heard what I said. It's your responsibility to know if this case is resolved by then. If you're unsure, contact the clerk or the county attorney or show up so you don't get a failure to appear. So March 19th at 9:30 a.m. All right. Thank you. Mr. Gallegos, do you see any need for Ms. Chavez to remain this morning?
We only have. I don't believe so.
And then,
Junior Flores.
do you know, I know Mr. Solis needs an interpreter. but that's not till this afternoon. I don't want to tie her up over here till then.
What time is that one?
That's on Judge Velez's docket at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't think so.
Okay. thank you for helping us out this morning. Has anyone talked to you about anything this afternoon? Okay, if we have a need, are you available via Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, and I appreciate it as usual. You too. Bye. Go ahead and come on up, Mr. Barraza. Okay. Let me catch up
He
some notes.
was previously appointed, Lloyd in a case in 2022.
Okay, that was a retained attorney, correct? He was appointed, okay. That answers that question. Let me get Mr. Barraza's note, or I'm sorry, Mr. Muhammad's note caught up. All right, let me get back to the correct screen. All right, we are back on the record in 2024 TR 9. And Mr. Barraza, I have reviewed your application and the court. First off, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. And what I'm gonna do is swear you in so that you can testify that the information in this affidavit is accurate, and then we'll rule on the affidavit. So you do solemnly swear that the information contained in this affidavit is true and accurate, so help you God? Very well. After review of your application for court-appointed counsel and affidavit of finances, the court finds you indigent per Kansas state guidelines and appoints Clint Floyd to represent you. Since Mr. Floyd was previously represented you in another case, is that still pending, Mr. Gallegos?
No, that one's been resolved,
Okay,
and it's the same charge.
all right. So we need a future court date to allow Mr.
I have that Mr. Floyd's gonna be here on the 8th and also on the 13th of February.
Which do you prefer?
13th. Been pretty full, but might be able to make it work.
The 8th, I have 3 hearings is all,
The 8th.
and they're at,
I have Floyd here at 9:30 in the morning, you're on.
okay,
And that is for.
right. Are you available on February the 8th at 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Does that work for you, Mr. Gallegos?
That'll work, we'll make it work.
Give me 1 second. All right, Mr. Barraza, would you step up here? You may already have his information, but this is Mr. Floyd's contact information. I've also written your court date. Make sure that Mr. Floyd has good contact information for you in case something changes. And so I will see you here for a second appearance with Mr. Floyd on February the 8th, 2024 at 10 a.m. All right. Do you have any questions, sir? Mr.
You'll be able to contact them here as soon as you leave, because I'm sending them discovery, right?
Okay. No questions for Mr. Barraza. Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything further?
No, there you are.
Very well. We are adjourned until February 8th at 10 a.m. Thank you for your appearance.
You have to come. Okay. I just said that I'm sending him the discovery right now, so you can give him a call. Cause he's ready to know about the page as soon as I send this email.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that 13th day looks pretty full. I'm like, oh man. It's gonna be easier to squeeze him in on that 8.
The 13th is full. I thought I only had 7.
Mhm.
You're gonna have more than I have for a while while they're uploading.
Or all those cases that we.
Oh, 22. I've got.
On that date that we, the courthouse got canceled or those. To move to that date.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Marcos Alonso Esparza, trying to find out, was the summons actually given to him?
That's returned.
Or returned unserved?
Okay. First off, I have Baranya Nicholas Carranza. Is that who you're talking about?
Oh, Marcos Alonso Esparza.
Okay, I've got him as well. Give me. So what do we want to do with Mr. Esparza? Let me get into my notes here.
I'm gonna respectfully ask him for a bench warrant, Your Honor, and then I'm gonna find an attorney to obstruct and accuse himself.
Okay. Let me see what I've got in previous notes. Cause I show he was here was scheduled to be on the 5th. Did he make it on the 5th,
What?
December?
Uh, so I think on the 5th,
Let me see what I've got.
it was no show. But he was in contact with our office.
Okay, I have, does not appear, and he's been in contact with your office regarding diversion and request time to review. So no non-appearance here. And let me get back. So you're requesting a bench warrant for non-appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. $1,000 cash for surety.
Very well. Court will grant state's request for a bench warrant for failure to appear in 2023 TR 391, $1,000 cash corporate surety bond.
I would also like to note that we attempted service on the summons twice and it came back unserved, so it's the only way we can get a hold of them.
Very well. All right. Regarding Barania Nicholas Carranza, second appearance. This was one appeared on 12/26 via Zoom. She appeared in person. Speaks Spanish, no interpreter available for first appearance. First appearance rescheduled to January 30th, today's date.
This one is Aranza.
It is 2023 TR 300,019.
Okay. He's on mine, but I'm looking sure that it's got, that you guys don't have any, don't see it here. But,
I have it on page 3. Well, if it's just for today, page 3 of today's docket, top line, but yours might have more dates, so it would.
Didn't put it on this document, I don't know why. This one is okay. Aranza.
Hmm.
Find them. This one's-
Be the local.
Yeah, it sucks, because we didn't have an interpreter, we probably could have got that resolved, I'm gonna just ask that we can issue a summons, Your Honor.
That's fine.
I think that's the right thing to do.
I actually feel better with that since she was here. We didn't have an interpreter and that was there was enough confusion that I think that would be fair.
Shoot for that 27th date.
That's fine. February 27th. Go back to the calendar and see.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock is fine. All right, and then all I have left on my docket are Steen at 1. We're still a go. Mr. Flores in 23 TR 388 was a diversion status. Is that resolved?
Who's this, Your Honor?
Adam Junior Flores, 23 TR 388.
Who do you accept, Your Honor?
November, he appeared with Mr. Ludke and they were needing a future date to get certain things done and the application completed. So this is a diversion status hearing at 3:30 PM. I guess my quick question is, has this case resolved or should we anticipate an appearance?
So I'll check this. I haven't received any feedback from you,
All right. Will the individual on the Samsung device that just logged in, please tell me who you are?
That's there's a full motion.
Your Honor, I don't think he could hear you. I don't see the little, his audio's not on.
Can you hear me on the Samsung device?
Hello,
Hello, can you tell me who you are, sir?
my name is Vernon Hughes. I'm sorry for the disconnect. I'm sorry. Vernon Hughes.
All right, and you're have an appearance in Kearny County District Court?
Yes.
Do you know a case number?
Mm, I got the agency and all that other stuff. I don't know. I don't know where I came.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't find the case number.
Do you know have the case number? What is it, Karina?
Is the case number the same as the agency number?
Hang on a second. I think the county attorney secretary may have it. What is that, Karina? 533. Okay. And do you guys have him on your docket? Okay, the court doesn't, so let me get caught up. All right. Let me get caught up here, Mr. Hughes. The Cook County Attorney's Office has you on the docket and I did not, but that's not a big deal.
Yes, sir.
Vernon D. Hughes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me 1 second to get caught up.
No problem at all, Your Honor.
All right. Are you ready to deal with Mr. Hughes's case, Mr. Gagos?
Number 1 second, I'm just pulling it up.
Okay. While you're looking, let me go over my first appearance. All right. Mr. Hughes, are you having any trouble hearing or understanding me?
No, not at all. I can hear you perfectly fine.
All right. I'm going to go over statement of rights to and of criminal and traffic defendants. This applies to everyone who comes to court for a first appearance. And it doesn't end at first appearance. It continues on through the remainder of this case. You have the right to a formal reading of each of the charges against you, as well as a reading of the potential consequences in the event of conviction. You have the right to a speedy and public trial. You are innocent until the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove your innocence. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at every stage of the proceeding. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court may appoint one for you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you may reassert it at any time. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses of the state. You may also present witnesses of your own and compel their attendance if necessary. You have the right to remain silent with the power to decline or refuse to make any verbal or written statement to the prosecution. You have the right to testify, but only if you choose to do so. Did you understand your rights as I read them, sir?
Yes.
I'm going to read special considerations for non-citizens. I don't know if this applies to your situation. I just read this as a blanket statement for everyone. Conviction of a crime can adversely affect the immigration status of any individual who is not an American citizen. This applies to all convictions, including most traffic offenses. Receiving a diversion can constitute a conviction for immigration purposes. Adverse effects to your immigration status may be significant. These include the potential revocation of your immigration status and or the ordering of your deportation. Because of the potentially severe consequences resulting from a conviction, you are entitled to an opportunity to discuss potential impacts of a conviction with an immigration attorney. Wishing to discuss the potential consequences of a conviction with an immigration attorney does not constitute an exercise of your right to counsel. You are not entitled to the appointment of an attorney solely to address potential immigration issues. Did you understand each of those as I read, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. For the purpose of the record that I'm creating, this is Kearny County District Court on January 30th, 2024. Judge Walters presiding. Mr. Hughes, you are appearing via Zoom on Kearny County District Court Case 2023 TR 533. That is a 2-count complaint filed by the Kansas Highway Patrol. Count 1 alleges driving while license canceled, suspended, or revoked in violation of Kansas Statute 8-262. That is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, it's punishable by a fine of not more than $1,000 and a jail sentence of not more than 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. When I say maximum and not more, those are the most that could be sentenced. That's not indicative of what is always sentenced. That's more dependent on a criminal or traffic history. Count 2 is a speeding violation in violation of Kansas Statute 8-1558. That is an infraction. A person convicted of an infraction can be ordered to pay fines and court costs. Do you understand each of the charges as I've read them?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about either?
No, sir.
All right. Regarding your appearance today, you have options regarding representation. You may hire an attorney of your choosing. If that's how you want to go, tell the court and we will set this for a future date to allow you to do so. Excuse me. Your second option is to request court-appointed counsel. If you wish to request court-appointed counsel, you must fill out an application and financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial guidelines to be eligible for an appointed attorney. And if you receive appointed counsel and are ultimately convicted of anything regarding this case, you may be required to reimburse some or all of your court costs. Finally, you have the right to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing. If you waive your right to an attorney, that allows the prosecutor, Mr. Gallegos, to discuss this case directly with you to see if you can come to some resolution. If you choose to waive your right to an attorney today, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you want an attorney, and we will proceed when you get an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Regarding how we're proceeding today, how do you wish to proceed, Mr. Hughes, regarding your attorney?
I would like to get an attorney. I would like a continuance so I can receive an attorney if that's okay.
Are you wishing to hire an attorney of your choosing?
Yes, sir.
Very well. How long do you think you need to get that accomplished? I can tell you we're scheduling into the end of February some and the beginning of March. Does that give you enough time?
Yes, sir. The beginning of March will be fine.
Let me go to, we are starting
10:30?
March 5th, did you say?
10:30?
How about March 5th at 10:30 a.m.?
Yes, sir. That's fine.
All right. Give me 1 second. Here's how this will work. The court is going to set this for a second appearance on March 5th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. You will need to let whoever you hire know of that date. If that is a conflict or a problem for your attorney, he or she will know how to file a continuance with the court. If you, whatever happens, if this court date does not change, you need to appear with your attorney, or again, if you don't have an attorney, on that date. Failure to appear could constitute a future fail to appear. All right.
Yes, sir.
So, and I said fail to appear twice, so that tells you how serious that could be. How's that? So,
Yeah. No, I understand.
all right. So, do you have any questions about that date, sir?
No, sir.
All right. We will expect to see you and an attorney, hopefully, on that date. Mr. Gallegos, do you have any objections to him appearing via Zoom since he's from out of the area?
No, you're on.
All right.
You're just gonna have to contact district court. That's on him on getting
Okay.
that information.
You are able to appear via Zoom. However, I will give you a phone number to Kearny County District Court when you're able to write.
I'm ready, sir.
620-271-6254.
6254.
That
Yes,
is
sir.
the clerk of the district court. They will be able to give you the Zoom information for that date.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions, sir?
No, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Gagos, do you have anything further?
No, Your Honor.
We are adjourned as to this matter until March 5th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. Thank you for your appearances.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you then.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Off the record.
All right. Bye. I don't know how to do this.
All right. I did not have that one on my docket, but I have it now, so that's good. And then we were back to the afternoon. You know anything about Mr. Russell at 3:45 p.m., Mr. Gagos? I'm sorry, Mr. George. Russell's the middle name.
Brandon Russell George with Mr. Shane Lugton.
Yes.
And look at my notes. George. You know, Lugton's always been pretty. We don't go back to me. He's just been kind of in my head lately. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll review it then. And last but not least, I've got Mr. Mitchell down for three cases, one of which we need first appearance and decide what he wants to do about an attorney. And then I assume, since we'll probably appoint who he has, if that's the route he wants to go, we'll need a continuance on that because
Who's your other, sir?
Darian Mitchell,
We already have an attorney.
not for the case he hasn't first appeared on.
Yes.
We talked about that and
And I believe. I believe we could have appointed him an attorney prior to. Are we on?
we're on Zoom, but we're not recording on VIQ.